Kids vegetarians. A reality or a myth? Film 2. When my friends start to argue about where I get protein from and ask many other questions, I recommend those people who have just started their vegetarian diet not to enter into arguments with relatives and friends. Usually I say, I have got experience of meat eating and of being a vegetarian, so I can reason based on both of them. And at first I ask those people who try to start arguments with me whether they have kept to a vegetarian diet or not. If the answer is no, I am used to saying there is no reason to argue as long as you have not had such an experience. As a rule, it puts an end to all discussions. To my mind, vegetarianism is such a type of nutrition which helps a person to somehow develop spiritually. In general, all the vegetarians whom I know, including myself, have gone through great changes in their lives. I can't say that it simply touched upon something in the kitchen. Actually, lots of things have changed. There appear new tastes, some new things, new people, as well as new hobbies. Life becomes healthier absolutely. For me, vegetarianism is firstly an evolution of a soul, because without it, as Leo Tolstoy said, this is the first stage which you can't skip. What means that if a person really strives for something spiritual, strives for evolution, strives for development, without this stage one can't shift to another level, as there can be no joy at the expense of someone else's sufferings or someone else's pain. Everything changes, outlook on life and perception change. Life becomes easier, and whatever happens, you take it easy, which means that all the worries, offenses, stresses, and so on disappear only because you don't eat meat. Generally, life simply changes, environment changes, thoughts change, and your actions change. Definitely, your consciousness widens up and expands the understanding of how food can influence our subtle body and character. My health condition has improved a lot. I am 34 years old, but lots of people don't believe my age. I think that if I had continued eating meat, I would look much older now. I didn't face any difficulties while changing my diet, as it was a conscious choice. One day I decided not to eat meat at all, so I did it. As far as my close relatives are concerned, who are vegetarians now, I can say that it was difficult for them only in their minds, as it is a very strong habit, addiction to meat. Many people can't imagine a single family holiday without barbecue party. I think this is the main problem, as my relatives did not face any physical discomfort while entering the vegetarian lifestyle. Vegetarianism gave me a lightness, which is now in all the aspects of my life. And I can also mention some calmness, being in the world of my own. And I even do not care what other people think about me. My relatives told me that I had lost my mind. I remember my father calling me, and he said, "Natasha, how is that? Nature created a pig so that you could eat it." And I said, "Dad, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I have made my choice, and full stop." In the end, they accepted it, and now they respect my decision not to eat meat. And also, I noticed that my mom and dad have started to eat less meat. The reaction of my family was horrible. I think this is what usually happens to mothers vegetarians. Actually, it shocked my mom and father-in-law. They really tried to bring me round. My friends just didn't understand me. At that age, they really did not care. Generally speaking, the society has a hostile attitude to it. My friends are still making fun of me. They don't want to accept the new me. Some people are absolutely tolerant to this fact, but others are for some reason aggressive. They at once jump on you. I try to keep a distance with such personalities and to talk less about this topic. There is a division in our family. My kid and I are vegetarians, but my husband cooks meat for himself. This is his choice. I don't blame him for that. And I hope the time will come and he will understand that it is better to give up eating meat. In general, these days lots of people become vegetarians, not because of humanity or compassion to animals, but because of an understanding comes that this is really very unhealthy. One can feel it, and you don't need to consult any doctors or scientists. I think that almost all women vegetarians have faced these questions from their gynecologists. How are you going to survive? How is that? You won't be able to bear a child. And here comes the pregnancy, and the third and the second month, and the first and the second term, and my blood tests were so good that my midwife said, "I can't believe it. Even meat eaters don't have such good blood tests as you have." As in traditional understanding, vegetarians always have very low level of protein and hemoglobin. So in my particular case, when already being a very confident vegetarian, I did not face any problems. My second pregnancy was on the vegetarian diet, but both during the first pregnancy as well as the second one, my blood test showed anemia. The difference is that during the first pregnancy I ate beef every day, so as to raise the level of hemoglobin. Also, I took food additives rich in iron, and still the level of hemoglobin did not change at all. And during my second vegetarian pregnancy, the hemoglobin level was the same again. But judging by how I felt every day, I can say that anemia was only during my first pregnancy, as I had some weakness, but during the second one, I was definitely much stronger. I was almost flying. I woke up every day at 4 a.m. and practiced yoga almost every day. During my pregnancy, I visited the doctor only once, for my own confidence, just to do some minimal blood tests. My parents insisted on it. They were worried about me, and I wanted to relieve me of responsibility as well as to help my parents feel more relaxed, and to be sure that everything is fine. We also tried to make some agreements for the delivery in the maternity home, but this plan failed through, and everything took place at home with a midwife in a very natural way. I did not visit doctors during my pregnancy, and I am not experienced in dealing with them at all. Actually, I felt perfectly fine all the time. I read books to make sure that everything is okay with me, and to make sure how much my belly has grown. I was measuring the height of the fundus ovatrice myself, just because of my curiosity and for the sake of calmness. There was no need at all to visit doctors, as I was doing well. Everything is fine with my pregnancy, and my doctor is fully satisfied with me. No complaints, nothing wrong, all the tests are good, and I almost did not have toxicosis. Everything is very smooth and even. As far as I understand, toxicosis is the purification of the body from toxins. The women who keep to the traditional diet suffer from it very often. As for me, I did not have it, not a single hint. As for my close relatives who are vegetarians, they did not have such problems either. I had neither toxicosis nor sickness. There was quite a typical apathy, and I was immersed in myself during the last term. My body felt comfortable and very light. I was given prenatal yoga classes till the last term, and together with my husband we practiced partner yoga till the 4th month of my pregnancy. And I was teaching Hatha yoga till the 6th month of my pregnancy. My pregnancy was very easy, though I faced some toxicosis at the very beginning, but it was not that strong alone. After some cleansing techniques, all the discomfort disappeared. My pregnancy also went well. I liked it. It was a very easy delivery. As our midwife said, for the first delivery everything was perfect. It was a natural process without any medicamental intervention, very calm, in a good home atmosphere. Our midwives came to our house. Our delivery was great. It happened at home. My husband was with me. It was a memorable event. I would advise to all the pregnant women, especially who are in their last term, not to eat meat products, eggs or salt. Actually, not to eat salt at all, as it blocks the muscles, and the womb is our biggest muscle, and it should be very elastic. One should drink lots of water and any vegetable oil, cedar oil, sunflower seed oil, or other. It should be cold-pressed, so that to oil the system well. During the first 3 months after delivery, I was eating very simple food. I ate either raw food or buckwheat, so that the bowels microflora of my baby be healthy. Everything was good. I was eating buckwheat, greens, parsley, dill and basil, and drinking fresh juice with carrot and beetroot. It had a very positive impact on my daughter, and she was very calm. She had no stomachache, there were no colics. We were sleeping well all the night. It was only during the 2 weeks of her life that she had sleepless nights, and she was so tiny, and she always wanted to eat. But after the first month, we started to sleep almost all the night long, and she woke up to eat only twice a night. So on the whole, there were no problems with her stomach, and she was a very calm baby. Vegetarian babies are not ailing that much in their first years, because the bowel microflora is healthy, and there is no place for bacteria, which cause many diseases. That is why we should firstly think about our kids. Parents can put up with some discomfort for their sake and stint in food. Our relatives are not vegetarians. They eat meat and they call the doctor twice a month for their kid. Thank God we escaped it. Our child's health is perfect. Very seldom does she get ill. We went to the doctor only once, but it had nothing to do with nutrition, digestion, or a possible allergy. That is why there is no doubt that we have chosen the right diet for our kid, and we will continue with it. We do not have any diseases or allergies, but there was some rash at the very beginning, and we have decided to keep to the raw vegan diet, to clean our bodies as well as hers. And the rash disappeared, and everything went well. This helped us a lot, while pediatricians gave us different advice. It turned out that in spite of practicing short karmas and various cleansing techniques before pregnancy, the modern world is so polluted that unfortunately not everything depends on us. We had to go through certain cleansing practices, and my daughter's health improved considerably. What is more, when I was nursing her, my husband and I had been fasting for 5 weeks, and I had a lot of milk. So my daughter also went through a sort of cleansing course. As his body was purifying, the allergy disappeared. It turned out that animal protein and dairy products are too heavy for his body system. It has been 5 months since our baby was born, and I cannot say that there are any deviations from the norms that are usually established by pediatricians. She is no different from other babies. And what is more, many people say that our girl is very well developed. And I have some friends who have had babies recently, and they are not vegetarians. Normally, the weight of their children was 2.4 2.8 kilos, while our baby's weight was 3.5 kilograms. Some things are definitely worth trying, but people have fears. The only thing that can happen is some acute condition, a critical state, the so-called crisis, during the transition period. This may happen if the transition is too dramatic. And this is also a cleansing process, that is, we block our organism with different toxic substances to such an extent that later it has to go away through pain, some diseases, but it should be eliminated. If one does not cleanse his body, his health will only become poorer. It would be much easier to become a vegetarian if you clean your bowels first. There are many ways to do it. The Indian Shanka Prakshalana and other techniques. As for my personal view, fasting is too difficult for a dirty body. It would be better to fast on juices, or to look for some other methods. There are many of them. I think that motivation and the conscious understanding of the very process, that is what really matters. It is not that someone told me that it is fashionable not to eat meat, so I at once decided starting from tomorrow to become a vegetarian. In fact, it is the understanding of what meat eating is and which consequences it has. I think that most people even can't imagine how harmful this diet can be, and what the meat industry really is and what is behind it, including the karma of meat eaters in their future incarnations, in their future lives. I think that they don't realize this. I would advise to find and read books on this topic, because many people don't even know that there are learned works that have been written, pronounced and proved. It is easy now to find all these materials in the internet, in videos and books. There is so much information. Firstly, I would like to advise not to be afraid of experiments, and to be courageous to try new things. If you try and stay vegetarian for a month or two, you won't lose anything, but you will definitely get something. Also, I would like to recommend you not to pay attention to what other people will say, because they will probably be suspicious of it, like you are in a sect, and at the very beginning you may keep aloof. Do not be afraid of this, so to say, isolation. And one more recommendation. Do not try to impose it on others. You can do whatever you like with your body, your organism, but it is not a miracle cure. For some people, it can have a negative effect on their health or mental state. Once you realize that it is high time for you to start this or that technique, you are free to do it, but do not impose it on others. To those who are still in doubt or in their transition period, I would recommend to listen to your body, to how it feels, and to make the transition as natural as possible. One should not force himself to do it by overcoming inward resistance, but he should do it step by step. Try to have as varied menu as possible, especially during the transition period, and include all the variety of healthy food products. Actually, one should not strive for becoming a vegetarian. You should aim at self-perfection, and vegetarianism will enter your life, as aspiration can only lead you to fanatism. I have got such experience. I have seen people who, after reading a book, decided to become raw vegans, only because this is what the book said, because it is cool. I continued watching them, and I saw that those restrictions in food made those people suffer. Time went by, and they started to eat a lot of food again, even more than they used before the transition. That is why my wish for you is to avoid becoming a fanatic. Slow and gradual transition is the best. And again, do yoga or some other practices that make a person more spiritual, more sensitive, more compassionate, kind, and everything will go away. This is my experience. I would like to wish every person to get the same level of energy as when I went through transition to vegetarianism. It is a really great bonus, an absolutely new world that you get. I would advise everyone to overcome fears and try to study this topic, to look for information for real vegetarians, and there are so many of them. They live among us, lots of them, and they are quite well-known personalities. They come to vegetarianism and the whole world is turning to it. Our future lies with compassion. Our future lies with healthy, conscious people, and maybe a more kind-hearted humanity. Go ahead and join us.